Hey guys, welcome to Andertons TV. I am the Maltese Falcon, aka Chris, and I'm here with
Jack Duxbury.
Yeah, let's go. Today on the Falcon's Nest, we're going to be looking at this bad boy, the Townsend Sphere. This is a mic I've been using for quite a while, so I feel like I'm quite experienced with it, and I just want to show you some tips about how I go about using it, maybe creating some sonic differences and all that good jazz. Let's get into it. So first of all, before we start, I just want to say if you're subscribed, amazing, but if you're not subscribed, basically you might want to consider that because we are doing a giveaway once we reach 100,000 subscribers. We've got some synths and some good stuff that you might want to enjoy, so I would recommend subscribing if you want to be a part of that. All right, so basically to start us off, just so everyone's aware on the whole system we're using, we've got the Townsend going into the Apollo Twin. This is my personal one, and as you can see, it's had a lot of battle wounds. For this setup, we are running the Sphere in console so that Jack can hear himself with the emulation we've got going on. So we're not monitoring, we're not listening through any audio through Logic, basically. And so we can have a quick flick through, maybe find a mic that sounds nice on Jack, and then we'll go and record some takes. But for the sake of this video, we've actually put the Townsend plugin in Logic, which will allow us to then change the polar patterns or the microphones that we're using after the fact. Do you have a song in mind that you'd like
I'm going to sing something, but just because I know nothing about this microphone.
Yeah.
When you say change the mic, so we can make this sound like loads of other mics, right?
Exactly. So it's kind of like, I want to say it's emulating, but not in the sense of it's just an EQ curve. It's got some smart technology in it. As you can see, I've got two XLRs plugged into the back, so it's kind of not only picking up from the front of the mic, but also the back of the mic, which allows you to do all those polar patterns.
So it's using two
inputs. Yeah, so kind of, you know, if you're using a one input interface, maybe you can still use it, but not to its full capability. So in this case, we're kind of going full fat. We've got the console, we've got UA. So all of this is also running latency free.
Amazing.
That's the setup.
I mean, I haven't tried this out, so I'm really interested. The bit I'm interested in is being able to change the polar pattern after we've recorded it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we're in an untreated room, and as I understand it, I think we can manage that after the fact. But anyway, I'll sing some dodgy stuff.
We'll get into it. Do you want to record something, then we can have a listen to the differences?
Go.
All right.
Do you still take a long time to get ready? You used to talk too much about that kind of stuff, and you turn your head around and it kills, 'cause the dress looks nice on you still, and it always will.
Lovely. That was great. Nice one, Jack.
Thanks, I'm down with the kids. Listen to a bit of Dijon mustard.
A little bit of Dijon, I see how it is. So I've created a recording track up here just so it allows me to, I've got this lead vox kind of group, so every time we do a take I can just pull it down. So we've recorded that in, we've moved down to this other track where it's just in a group of empty lead vocal tracks. I'll turn on our Townsend plugin. As you can see, we're just sending a bit of reverb or a bit of the vocal to a reverb bus. So now we can actually see what the different mics are sounding like. So besides you having your classic kind of condensers, you have quite a variation.
I'm genuinely excited about this.
Oh, this is honestly the first time I used this, I was so excited, because when you're first getting into production and recording, you're obviously limited to the gear you have. So having something like this doesn't mean you necessarily have access to that gear, but it allows almost like the feeling of what type of sound you'll be capturing as if you had that gear, you know? So maybe it might get you to think a little differently about how you're miking up your instruments, maybe the techniques you're using, you know? So in this case, let's say this microphone here is a vintage Neumann 47 is kind of what they're modeling. So this is the default mic that opens up, probably because it's one of the more common mics a person would reach for if they had access to it. For
and
vocals.
money.
And money, because it's a lot of that as well. So maybe let's listen to what it just sounds like straight out of that, and then we can flick through a couple of variations.
And it kills, 'cause the dress looks nice on you still, and it always will.
So that sounds lovely. I think as an initial sound, I would be very happy to start there with a vocal.
That's my dream microphone.
You know?
As a dude with that type of voice.
Yeah.
But like the other dream microphone for me, I'd love to try out is like a C12y type.
Oh yeah. Okay. So we can.
That's one I've never encountered in real life.
Okay. So we can flick through here. Obviously, we've got.
Oh, let's do the 87.
We've got both. We've got 87s, and we have a couple variations.
Let's listen
as well.
to the modern one. And it kills, 'cause the dress looks nice on you still, and it always will. Is a little bit.
It kind of has a bit of that presence, you know.
Well, let's get an extreme one. Let's.
So I would say if we want extreme, we could use like an SM57.
Come on.
Right?
Well, you were going to say like I can maybe throw in some backing vocals.
Oh yeah.
And like you said, maybe for different tones, like thinning out instead of using EQ, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Or thickening out technically. You know, you can do both.
Mm.
Okay, so for the BVs that we're going to add, which I think we're just going to stick to some doubles.
Yeah.
I've selected a Coles 4038, which you've recorded with. I'm sure you're familiar. It's quite a dark sound. So like compared to the 47 that we had tried earlier, there's going to be quite a difference in sonic quality.
Well, let's see. I want to see if this can pull it off.
Let's go.
Do you still take a long time to get ready? You used to talk too much about that kind of stuff when you turn your head around and it kills. 'Cause the dress looks nice on you still, and it always will.
Awesome. That was great, Jack. Nice one. You smashed it.
Mate.
So
No click. Come on!
no click. Let's go.
Interesting. So I've ropily sang some doubles left and right. Let's have a listen.
Yes.
I might keep my cans on for this.
Yeah, it would be nice to hear what's going on in the stereo field a bit.
So the goal, as I understand it, right, same if I was doing doubles, and this is the dream of it, I would often take off some top end, some bottom end on the BVs, but with EQ, but we could just change the mic model and get them sounding different.
That's the beauty.
Hit me, Falks.
So I've got these plugins on. Let me just select the Coles. We'll go 4038 and just duplicate that over
With
here.
AI artwork, freaking AI microphones, jeez.
Okay, let's see what we've got.
Do you still take a long time to get ready? Right, cool, that's enough there. Can I hear just what the lead sounds like and then the one on the left? Just for the tonal difference. Do you still take a long time to get ready? So that's a 47. You used to talk too much about that kind of...
Now it is a bit quieter.
Now is that modelled the pickup of a 4038 as well?
So in this case, normally a polar pattern would be a figure of 8, right? So because of the technology that we're using, you can see on the plugin that the figure of 8 is the only one actually highlighted, because that's the only possible polar pattern you could use on this mic. But because we've got the software, you could technically just have the sonic character but keep the cardioid polar pattern, you know, so you're not getting as much.
Oh, so that's what we're listening to, like
that's what we're listening
a Coles in cardioid.
In cardioid, technically, yeah.
All the geeks out there just jizz.
So we've got these two backing vocals with the Coles. We can also try hear them with, like, say 414, because that's the opposite, you know, it's extremely bright, so those BVs are gonna poke right out. Do you still take a long time to get ready? You used to talk too much about that kind of stuff and you turn your head around. So yeah, those S's and that presence on the BVs is now a lot more, like you're saying, instead of just carving out with your EQ, you can just change the character and
very cool.
Puts you in a very different ballpark.
Now, on that, can I just, that bit at the beginning where I was like, right, I'm in an untreated room.
Yeah.
You know, we've got not much treatment going on in here.
Yeah.
Should we hear how we can clean that up with the pattern? Like the lead in Omni and then Cardioid?
Exactly, let's do it.
Mate, I'm excited for this.
Get these on for this.
Because again, if you're looking at treating your room or buying vocal boost, and this can mitigate some of it, what a purchase.
Definitely, and kind of one of the beauties I realized with the same thing you're saying is that I remember I was recording in my bedroom and it was raining outside and the rain was hitting on the window. So I selected a figure of 8 polar pattern, turned the mic so the kind of null was the window, and it just cut out all of that rain, you know, like without doing any treatment, without kind of adjusting too much. I think I just turned the mic a bit and it worked. So it's kind of beautiful what you can do after the fact if you have these limitations. So let's get the lead vocal.
Oh, and a stereo pair drum overheads if you're in a small room.
Oh, that's the thing. And if you had 2 of these, obviously it's taking up 4 channels of your interface, so it's a lot, but it's 2 mics that you can also use in stereo.
Well, let's hear it. Let's see if it cleans it up a bit.
So here we've got the mic in just
and kill that reverb so we can hear. That's all right. Thank you, mate.
So should we try it in Omni just to hear the full room and then tighten it up?
Do you still take a long time to get ready? Do you still take a long time to get ready?
If I flick it back.
You used to talk too much about that kind of stuff.
It's definitely cutting out a lot more of that ambience, like you're saying, those earlier reflections.
Right, what's this? And then, so we can filter
it gets better. So this, obviously, we're just dealing with the...
You're selling me here, Chris.
We're just dealing with the surface of what this thing can do. So obviously you got your filter. Most interfaces like this one, you might have a little filter. So it takes off the bottom end, yeah? Takes off a little bit of bottom. What's nice is you've got some options. So you've got 60 hertz, 100, 200, so male or female.
Let's whack that 100 on there.
So we'll get a little bit of 100. And then this axis is beautiful. So because we're recording the front and the back of the microphone separately, which allows us to do all of this crazy fun stuff, we can change the direction of where it's picking up on the microphone. So, you know, you could have...
After I've recorded it.
But after you record it.
Hit me with it. Let me hear it.
Okay. We'll go from the microphone being capturing in front to capturing behind. So it's going to sound like you're singing in the complete opposite direction of the microphone.
Do you still take a long time to get ready?
Now we'll go to the back.
You used to talk too much about that kind of stuff, and you turn your head around and it kills.
It's very subtle, but it's mainly a bit of proximity, you know, a bit more of that front
It's
clarity.
Almost subtle, but it's not, because it's what a thing to do.
Well, imagine you did this with BVs.
Yeah.
You record all your BVs and then you use the back of the microphone to set them a bit more in the back of the mix.
It's like a mid-late breakdown and you want to freshen up the vocal. Instead of putting some warbly stuff on it, you can actually, it's like you made the effort to go record behind the mic. Oh,
exactly.
Wow.
So that, and the last kind of thing you can do, which is here, is the proximity effect is just how much kind of bass and low end you're getting from the microphone, depending how far or close you are. So,
no way.
So if you got a bit too much of that proximity...
Right, go minus 100 to 100. This is incredible.
Okay, let's go. This is from as little proximity effect as possible, and then we're going to boost.
Do you still take a long time to get ready?
0.
You used to talk too much about that kind of stuff, and you turn your head around and it kills. Cause the dress looks nice on you still, and it always will.
So kind of, it's again very subtle, like it's just sorting out that low end.
So much of what we do is vocal production.
Yeah.
And in this, I think I should have it. You know, if I'm melodyning stuff, if I'm de-breathing, de-clicking, to control someone's proximity.
Yeah.
And you can automate that as well, right?
You could definitely.
Jeez Louise.
It's a beauty of a piece of software. And we haven't even touched up upon the fact that this can be a stereo microphone from just one mic. Maybe that's for another video, because that's a whole thing in itself, but...
Oh, this is amazing. Mate, I can see, he was always saying why he had one. I get it now.
You know, I've just always have it set up as a vocal mic, which you can use it on basically anything you want. But even if I was recording guitar, I'd use that as a room mic, flip it into Coles, and then it's just a random guitar amp Coles, you know, like...
And it doesn't sound digital or phasey or weird.
Sounds, it just kind of ticks the box that you want to do, which is like if you had to use an SSL plugin, right? You're not using it because it sounds like exactly like the hardware, but you want to use it for that workflow and that, you know, maybe that particular Sonic. But in this case, it's the same thing. You're just picking it because you want something in that ballpark. But you just have one thing to do the job.
If I was looking to buy this, like I am now, maybe, do you want to pick a line, loop it? I'll get out of it because I can't listen to myself anymore. Loop it and then just flick, and then we can A-B them. You can hear what I'd sound like singing through them.
Yeah,
and that'll be the end of the video.
Sounds good.
Mate, killing it. And you've tuned in for more Falcon's Nest. What other ideas you got for Falcon's Nest?
Plenty.
And thanks Oz as well. Oz is in here helping us out. Yay, Oz. Yay. And yay for watching. Subscribe because then you get free stuff. Yay. High five. What a mate. Cause the dress looks nice on you still, and it always will. Cause the dress looks nice on you still, and it always will. Cause the dress looks nice on you still, and it always will. Cause the dress looks nice on you still, and it always will. Cause the dress looks nice on you still, and it always will. Cause the dress looks nice on you still, and it always will.